Hello, everyone. Are you ready to do your speak out exercises? My name is Samantha Allendary. I'm a speech language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. We are a nonprofit speech therapy clinic solely dedicated to helping you and everyone with Parkinson's around the world preserve your speech and your communication. Since the muscles we use for speaking and swallowing are the same, it is very common that as you get your speech muscles stronger and you learn how to speak with intent, it is common for the swallowing to improve also. I'm here to help you get your speak out home practice out of the way. Today's topic, read that with intent. Go ahead. Did you use your best voice? Let's say it together. Travel with intent. Travel with intent. That is the topic for today. Also, North Texas Giving Day is this Thursday. And so every day this week, I'm going to give you a tip for how to evaluate charities and things that you might look into before you make a donation. But first, we're going to go through the speak out exercises. The first one is the warm up. Oh, we need water. Let's get water first. With intent. Take a sip of water with intent. I almost dropped this mug. It almost slipped. So grab your cup with intent and then take a sip of water with intent. Imagine that you're facilitating this session. I bet you'll use more intent then. The first speak out exercise is the warm up. You've got to warm up your voice in order for it to sound its best. Lift your voice and project it forward over the imaginary tennis net. May, me, my, mo, moo. Again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Even though we're saying this whole sequence, you really think about throwing each sound. Think about every sound is going forward. Be very deliberate. Let's do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Good. Again. May, me, my, mo, moo. How about one time backwards with intent? Moo, mo, my, me, may. I'm throwing every sound forward. Imagine there is a tennis net. Every sound needs to fly over the net, up and over. Let's take a sip of water. Grab that cup with intent. Take a sip of water and swallow with intent. With Parkinson's, everything you do needs to be with intent, because that means that you are activating a motor system that is not as dependent on dopamine. By the time somebody has any symptoms of Parkinson's, they've already lost about 80% of their dopamine producing cells. So the intentional motor system is not as dependent on dopamine, and that's why it works. So that's what we're doing here. We're transitioning speech from automatic to intentional. Let's move on to speak out exercise number 2, the ahs. Open that mouth wide and project the ah over the tennis net. Ah. keep the sound consistent all the way through. Again. The whole ah has to make it over the net. Again. Reach for it, but don't push from here. Just project the voice out. Let's do it again. One more time. Here we go. We have done the warm-ups and the ahs. We need to move on to the glides, but first we need to grab our cup, take a sip of water with intent. All right, the glides. Why don't we do the stair-step method today? I never want you to settle for a stair-step, but especially if you're new to the glides, a stair-step approach can really help you to get more expression. The glides are directly linked to how colorful your voice sounds. So repeat after me. We'll do the stair-step up. Ready? Together. Listen. Together. Listen. Together. Now glide. Again. If you're working with a speech language pathologist, and hopefully all of you are working with a speak out provider privately, that's the type of thing they will work on with you. They will find different techniques to help you to be able to do these exercises. Let's take a sip of water, and then we're going to do the upward glide again, but with more intent. Let's take a sip of water. We're thinking about it. We're using intent. So when we do the upward glide, I want you to project out a steady ah. So we're not just going to glide up. We're going to add some intent to it. Steady ah, and then slowly glide up. Here we go. Try it again. Steady ah, and then glide. Good. Nice and even. Now we're going to do the downward glide, but we'll start with the stair-step approach. So listen to me. Together. Ah. Sound over the tennis net. Listen. Ah. Together. Ah. Listen. Ah. Speak out. Ready? Ah. Now glide. Ah. Get all the little notes. Ready? Start high. Ah. Take a sip of water, then we're going to add a little bit more intent to it. All right. Throw out a steady ah, start high, and then slowly glide down. Here we go. Ah. You have to think about it a little bit more when you're doing the steady glide first. To do it again. Ah. Good job. I think that's enough glides. Take a sip of water and we'll do the counting. All right, we're going to count to 16. All right. Connect every number, lift it up, and project it forward. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Up and over. I'm going to use my hands. We'll do it again. Don't use your hands. Just project. Speak out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer with intent. What is the name of Parkinson Voice Project's speech therapy program? Speak out. Not speak loud, not shout out. Speak out. And that's what we're doing. We're speaking out. Let's do the counting one more time. And project your voice forward. Speak out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice and even. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Good. Let's take a sip of water. Now, Sue from Lansing, Michigan sent us some photos of her on her vacation, and she and her husband came up with a very creative way to work on her voice. So we're going to read the description and then we'll see the pictures. So let's go ahead. All right. Let's read. Let's start with "We walked." Ready? And I want you to speak out. Throw every number over the imaginary tennis net. Here we go. We walked down the road through the woods, and he coached me at the seldom used tennis court. We threw phrases and the ball up and over. What fun. Let's read it again with more enthusiasm. Ready? We walked down the road through the woods, and he coached me at the seldom used tennis court. We threw phrases and the ball up and over. What fun. And here are a couple pictures. It looks like you're saying moo there, Sue. Are you doing your warm-ups right there? I love it. And then here's a picture of you on the tennis court. There you go. Up and over. Sue, thank you for sharing these photos. Everybody else, if you have photos like this, photos, examples of how you're using intent, and you have, if you've come up with some creative ways to work on your voice, this is just wonderful. All right, take a sip of water. If you're new to the broadcast, I have two screens in front of me, so that's why I'm looking over. All right, September Getaways. We are reading with intent. We're building endurance. I want you to throw every word over the tennis net, but the highlighted word needs to make it to the serving line. Use a lot of intent. Here we go. September is a great time to travel. Up and over, travel. Everybody say that with me. Travel. Read the sentence again. September is a great time to travel. Good. Kids are back in school. Of course, this is for everyone who's retired or whose kids are grown. Read it again. Kids are back in school. Next. Rates for hotels and airfare are cheaper. Does cheaper sound different than the rest? It should. Let's do it again. Rates for hotels and airfare are cheaper. Next. The temperature is cooler. Again. The temperature is cooler. Next. U.S. News and World Report lists top places for September travel. Stretch out, travel. Everybody say that with me. Travel. Now read the whole sentence. U.S. News and World Report lists top places for September travel. Keep in mind the reading voice needs to be stronger than the conversational voice. Reading is closer to 80 decibels, whereas normal conversation is 72 to 78. So you need these should sound strong. Ready? U.S. cities on the list are Greenville, Flagstaff, and Chicago. Do we have anybody from Greenville, Flagstaff, or Chicago practicing with us? Read the sentence again. U.S. cities on the list are Greenville, Flagstaff, and Chicago. Next, Santiago, Prague, and Vancouver are top places to go in September. Read it again. Santiago, Prague, and Vancouver are top places to go in September. Next, it also recommends Big Sur and Honolulu. Let's go back to this other one. Do we have anybody practicing with us today from Santiago, Prague, or Vancouver? Let us know. And how about Honolulu? Big Sur. Anybody practicing with us? Let's read this sentence again with more intent. It also recommends Big Sur and Honolulu. Good job. Take a sip of water. We've done the warm-ups, the ahs, the glides, the counting, the reading. Okay? Now we're moving on to the cognitive exercise, which helps us to practice processing information and speaking out. Processing of information can be a little bit slower with Parkinson's, so we need to practice it. I really want you to think about this. The more you exercise physically, the easier it is to walk, get out of a chair, your balance is improved. So the more you exercise, the better you get. The more you exercise your voice, it's stronger, your swallowing's better, your facial expression is better, so it gets better. Now, I want you to think of the cognitive challenges as the same way. The more you practice, the better. So during these exercises, what we do during the session might not be enough. I encourage all of you to spend 10-15 minutes some other time during the day working on cognitive exercises, not jigsaw puzzles or Sudoku or things like that. I'm talking about exercises like what we do, exercises from your workbook, looking at photos, naming places and people and things like that. So for the exercise today, describe this picture. Where is it? Have you been there? If you don't know where that is, you can just describe the picture with intent. Go ahead. When you're describing pictures, try to be as specific as you can. How high do you think that is, that castle? Here are some words that Lisa put down. Ready? Ireland, O'Brien's Tower, cliff, castle, ocean. Read those again. Ireland, O'Brien's Tower, cliff, castle, ocean. We're going to do one more, and then I'm going to give you my fundraising or my charity tip. All right, describe the picture with intent. Now, you read this without me. Read it with intent. Go ahead. That's another way in therapy where your speech pathologist might have you do some things not together with her, but on your own. I want you to read those again, but use more intent. Okay. North Texas Giving Day is this Thursday. You probably have a giving day in your area. I want to be clear that Parkinson Voice Project does have a holiday challenge going on right now. 50 cents of every dollar is being matched by one of our Loud Crowd members. He's been in the program for over 6 years. His family, once we hit $1 million, his family is going to donate an additional $500,000. So before the end of the year, make a donation. But I want to give you some tips because this time of year, lots of people are asking you for donations. So what was the tip yesterday? Say it with intent. When an organization asks you for money, ask that person, what percent of your board has contributed to this campaign? So I can tell you that 100% of our board has contributed. The question today, I want all of you to know about a website you can go to evaluate nonprofits. It's called GuideStar, all connected, GuideStar.org. GuideStar.org. You do need to create you have to have a password, so you have to create an account, but there's no charge for it. And I'm going to take you to GuideStar, so you can type in Parkinson Voice Project, Parkinson's Foundation, Michael J. Fox Foundation, all the different groups. I'm not sure if churches are on there, but let me show you what it looks like. I really encourage you to do a little investigation before you just write that check or make an online donation. This is GuideStar.org. I typed in, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. There you go. I typed in Parkinson Voice. I'm already logged in. I typed in Parkinson Voice Project. All right, here we are. You notice platinum. So there are different levels, okay? So this one doesn't have, so you can say, oh, here's silver, okay? So platinum, that means we took the time to go in and answer some more questions. When I click on it, this is what I want you to look at. Go down to the right side, okay? All the way to the right, and go to tax forms. Does everybody see that? I encourage you to go on to the different Parkinson's organizations or other organizations that you typically give money to and look at their tax forms. It's always on the bottom right. Go to the tax forms, look at 990, and you can see that we've got records here from 2010 to 2020. GuideStar gets these from the IRS. Okay, so the 2020 is the latest one that they have. And when you click on that, this is like the nonprofit's tax return. The things that I want you to look at, let me just go full screen and I'll just tell you. So you can look at how much money they brought in, how much money they spent, how many employees the organization has, and if you scroll down, you can also see how many employees does the organization have that makes more than $100,000. We are required to report on the 990 the employees and which employees they are that make over $100,000. And I think it's very enlightening when you go in and you start looking. It's very interesting. You know that Parkinson Voice doesn't have a fundraising department, but when you go in and start looking, you're going to see Director of Development, Director, VP of Development, VP of Plan Giving, so it's really interesting to go in and see. So that's my tip for today. Go on to GuideStar.org, create an account, start typing in and learning more about the organizations you're donating to. All right, you know what? We're going to go to the bonus reading. I don't want to miss this because the bonus reading are some travel tips by Carl Robb. Carl Robb, I go to his website, A Soft Voice in a Noisy World. Let's read these with intent. Ready? Over the net. Where are you going? What are you doing? How will you get there? Slow it down. You'll get there when you get there. Are you keeping your voice strong? Let's do the next part with more intent. Traveling with or without an illness these days can and often will try your patience, up your stress level, and test your sanity. Taking on the travel challenge might just be a little more peaceful and serene if you follow some of these tips. Are you with me, everybody? Start with number 1. Number 1, if you are flying or are forced to be at a determined destination like a train or bus station, allow yourself even an extra hour of time to avoid the feeling of being rushed or stressed. Ready? Number 2, when we travel, it is easy to get distracted and lose focus. Deep breathing and meditation may help you keep on track and stay sharp. Number 3, make a special travel CD or playlist of music that you look forward to hearing either in the car or once you get to the plane. Those are a few travel tips from Carl Robb. All right, everybody, I know we went through the bonus reading quickly. Let me ask you, were you able to speak out the whole time, or was it challenging once we went a little bit faster? We need to work on the reading. We need to work on paragraph reading like that. So download today's reading material, take what you learned during the session, and repeat it. Read Carl's tips and read a paragraph, and then repeat that paragraph with more intent. Then read 2 paragraphs and repeat it with more intent. Then read 3 and build up to it. You may not be able to do it all in one session, but every day you'll be getting stronger and stronger, and before you know it, you'll be able to read the whole thing with lots of intent, and guess what? Your conversational speech will improve. If you can read that bonus reading and maintain focus and use a lot of intent, you will be able to speak in conversation with family, friends, coworkers, no problem. All right, let me know what you thought about today's session, and please let me know if these charity tips are helpful to you. Have a great day. I will be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.